Hello everyone, welcome back to the Stretford review. This is my preview of the Manchester Derby, a big one, our biggest test of the season so far. Not that we've got through any easy tests so far anyway. But yeah, this is going to be the big test so far this season, guys. Although in saying that, we are above City in the table, which is pretty crazy to be honest, considering the mood around Manchester United right now. Not that it's that much better at City, but obviously I'd still be more comfortable being a City fan because of... they have Guardiola, who's arguably the best manager in the world, one of the best managers of all time. Whereas we have a manager who is completely unproven and needs to start turning things around really quickly before it goes from bad to worse. So we're almost through the international break. It's gone quite quickly actually. Maybe because I was watching a few of the internationals, and after that Burnley game, the last minute win, we needed a break to kind of just collect ourselves, have players come back from a few injuries, all that kind of thing. And as much as I dislike international breaks, especially the first one in the season, because you've been waiting so long for the Premier League to come back, and then 3 games in, bang, it's gone for 2 weeks. So this one's very annoying, but we've got through it and it's been okay. I've actually enjoyed the break. We needed the break after that win against Burnley. And I'm looking forward to the game against City on Sunday. Whether I'm confident or not is another question entirely. We did beat Man City last year at the Etihad. Remember, that was an amazing game. Bruno got a penalty in like the 88th minute and Ahmad scored in like the 91st minute. One of Amarim's few wins in the Premier League last season. And City were going through a rough patch at the time. They were nowhere near their usual perfect self. But it was still nice to get a win against them. They're still, at the end of the day, got great players, got a great manager who can destroy you and take you apart at any time in a football match. Which is why I'm a mix of optimistic but also kind of scared of this game on Sunday. I think we can get something from the game, but it also wouldn't be a big shock to me if we get absolutely pummeled. So, that's just the way it's been for Manchester United in the last few years. Completely unpredictable. I haven't heard much of an update on Cunha and how his injury is progressing. I'm assuming he's going to miss the game, but maybe they'll try sneak him in on the down low, because there's not been much of an update on kind of a time estimate of how long he's going to be back. Obviously, we heard last week he was doing training, upper body training at the gym at Carrington, so maybe there's hope he can get involved somehow. Personally, I don't think I would risk it. Obviously, the medical team will know better than I do, of course. But if it's kind of a risk to play him, I kind of just sit him out for this game and wait till he's 100% fully fit and better to get him back in the starting lineup. So yeah, guys, I'm just going to kind of be going through my predicted lineup, how I think the game's going to go, how I think City are going to line up as well, which is going to be quite hard to predict because Man City's team is a lot of chopping and changing this season. It's probably the most unpredictable team so far. They've got a lot of new faces. A lot of old players have left. I think Pep himself is still working out what formation, what system he wants to play, all that kind of thing. Also, what's interesting is that we could see a goalkeeper debut for both teams. So hopefully for us, Lemens will start, and it might be the first start for Donnarumma as well. Maybe Pep will stick with Trafford. He might not want to throw Donnarumma in at a game this big, the Manchester Derby. But unlike City, we don't have the luxury of waiting for a new goalkeeper to settle in. We kind of have to throw Lemens in straight away, to be completely honest. So I think he will start. I'm hoping he will start. And I wouldn't be surprised if Trafford is the one who starts for Pep Guardiola's team. One thing that might be a blessing in disguise about the Cunha injury is maybe allowing Bruno to go back to his more natural position in that front three as kind of a free roaming number 10, which will allow him to kind of run all over the place, which is kind of Bruno's... That's where he's at his best. It's not that practical in terms of tactics and discipline, but Bruno is his best when he kind of has a free role to go box to box, but mainly in the opposition's final third. I would love to see a Casemiro-Mainoo pivot, but I think Amarim's going to go quite defensive and go for Casemiro-Ugarte. I hope I'm wrong. I do not want to see Ugarte play, especially in a game this big, where you're away at Man City and you need to be good with the ball. Obviously, Ugarte will cover more ground than Mainoo. I honestly think that Mainoo would be the better choice for this game, just because he can take the ball under pressure, he can play balls through the lines to our forward players, especially during transitions. And when he's got Casemiro beside him, I think he can do a job for us, but it remains to be seen. I think Ugarte will start, but I would like Mainoo to start, obviously. Another big thing is Sesko. We haven't seen him start our Premier League game yet. I'm hoping he will start. Now, again, I wouldn't be surprised if Amarim does something along the lines of playing Ugarte and Casemiro in the 2, Mount and Bruno as the wide 10s and Mbeumo up front. Maybe he'll do that. For me, you got to keep Mbeumo on that right hand side. That's his best position. That's where he's starting to settle in. So I'd love to see a front three of Bruno, Mbeumo and Sesko. That's assuming that Cunha isn't going to play and he's still going to be injured, which I think will be the case probably. As for our wing backs, I think he's going to go for Dalot and Dorgu, because we're going to be missing Cunha's kind of creative spark, I think it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world to go for Ahmad at wing back, so we can have a bit more of a creative spark going forward. Because with Cunha, you miss a lot of kind of the ball carrying, beating players, all that kind of stuff. And Ahmad is probably our next best player in the squad at beating players in terms of on the dribble, taking players on, pushing defenders back, pushing them into their own box, making them back off. So maybe Ahmad will be a nice choice to play at right wing back. Again, it could be risky. I wouldn't be surprised if Amarim does play Dallo though for a bit more defensive solidity. I wouldn't mind too much if he played that. I think I'd like to see Ahmad, see us be a bit more adventurous, but I can completely understand if he wants to play Dallo. And yeah, as for City, this is an impossible team to predict. I've got the team up on the screen here that I think will play, but Pep, he could change it 5 minutes before kickoff. That's the kind of manager he is. He's very in the moment type of manager, and he always has like a plan that you don't expect, so we got to watch out for that as well. Key men, obviously Haaland. I don't know if you guys saw, but he scored 5 goals and got 2 assists in the one game for Norway the other night. They bet some team 11-1, and I know it's a tiny European country that loses by that margin quite a lot. So on one hand, it doesn't mean much, but also 5 goals and 2 assists is outrageous. He's obviously the danger man. The fact we have 3 centre backs though, I think we should be able to keep a decent enough eye on him. He's really the only natural finisher I feel like in that Man City squad right now. I don't see any player where I'm like, we need to stop him from getting a clear-cut chance. Obviously, you don't want to concede any clear-cut chances, but I feel like a lot of City's players, even their new signings as well, they're creatives, they're inventive, they're flair players. I really like Cherki. I think Cherki's going to be a superstar at City. He's got all the potential in the world. The only thing that can hold him back is himself. But I'm not here to talk about City players, but they're kind of the players where I'd be thinking, do you know what? If we can just get one man on them, and this could backfire, because Doku could dribble past 2 players and bang one in bottom corner, or Cherki, or Oscar Bob, who looks really good as well. I'm not sure what the story is with Foden. Apparently he had an ankle injury, but he's just last 18 months really fallen off a cliff. If he starts, he's probably their next biggest goal threat. He's a very good shot from distance, very good finisher as well, Foden, he knows where the goal is. But if we can keep Haaland quiet and we can counter-attack and transition well, I think we have every chance in the world of getting something from the game. I'm going to predict... You'll never see me predict us losing a game, to be honest. But I'm going to predict... I'm going to say 1-1. I think it'll be 1-1. I think City will dominate the ball. I think they'll probably have the better of the chances. I feel like we're going to be the transition team like we usually are in these big away games. We've been that transition team for the last 10 years in the big games, especially away from home. And it has worked a decent amount of times, especially under Solskjaer. And it's a great skill to have to be a good transition team. So I think we'll nick a goal. I think we will score, but I think it's going to be a hard fought game with them shading possession and them having most of the better chances. But I'm going to predict 1-1. I'm not going to lie, I would take a 1-1. I know City haven't started the season great either, but they have a much better team, squad, manager than us, and they're at home. So I'm happy. It'd be interesting to see if Donnarumma starts. I think we could, if Donnarumma does start, we should just get up with that high press immediately. Like we saw Tottenham's high press against Man City. And when you're high pressing against City, for the last 7-8 years, it wasn't a problem because Ederson was so good with his feet. But Trafford, I don't know much about Trafford to be honest, but he did look a bit shaky in that Spurs game. He did make a couple of mistakes. I have seen a lot of Donnarumma though, and Donnarumma is by no means a good goalkeeper with his feet. He's a good shot stopper. He commands the box, but with his feet, I don't rate him, I'm not going to lie. So maybe that'll be a good tactic for us. Obviously, we don't know if Donnarumma is going to start, but if he does, he'll be nervy on his debut. We should try press him at every chance we get, and maybe we can nick a goal. I think it'll be harder if we go down first. If City score first, I think it'll be harder for us to claw ourselves back into the game because they keep the ball so well. But they can be got at as well. So look, hopefully we can get something from the game. I'm not going to go too out there and too confident. I'm looking forward to the game, but I'm going to say that the score is going to be 1-1. And I'm happy with that. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think the score is going to be in the game, your predictions, and do you think these are the right teams that are going to play? Would you change anything about the teams? If so, you can let me know in the comments, and I'll be back early next week for the review of the match, and hopefully it's a positive review, but we'll wait and see what comes of the game, guys. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.